Listeners, remember that in the world of business, integrity is paramount.
The opportunities that arise from the people that you know and the people that you're meeting and the people that you're surrounding. So
digital marketing is an indispensable tool for small businesses that are really looking to thrive in today's competitive market.
So I think that there is huge advantages in small businesses right now looking at AI, even if it's not them directly, but asking your marketing agency, are you guys using any AI practices?
In today's rapidly changing small business landscape, digital marketing is key to success. And small businesses, they contribute a remarkable 48% to Canada's GDP, highlighting their economic importance. I'm Maheen, your host for the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, and today we're exploring online strategies and growth with an industry expert. Welcome to another exciting episode. Joining us today is Robert Ientilucci, the president of Flowerpot Marketing and an award-winning digital marketing agency in Mississauga. A University of Toronto graduate, Robert leads a team specializing in generating quality leads through effective digital strategies, and his agency's success reflects his passion for helping businesses achieve their marketing goals. So tune in with us as we explore the secrets behind Robert's innovative VFCP strategy, the power of networking through BNI, and how to take your business to the next level in the digital age. Welcome, Robert, to the Small Business Podcast. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Very pleased to have you with us. Now, Robert, let's begin our discussion by throwing some highlight on the power of digital marketing, because in today's digital first world, having a strong online presence is no longer optional for businesses, because in fact a recent study showed that 65% of Canadians, they prefer online shopping, really highlighting the importance of meeting customers where they are, which is online. Could you share with our listeners how digital marketing has evolved in recent years and why it's become so crucial for small businesses in Canada?
Great question. I would say that it's definitely the highlight, or what in today's world, when we think about the consumers and what the consumer habits, that's really what's really important is. So before, it would be like, I'm starting a business, I'm taking an ad out on the newspaper, because a lot of people would read the newspapers for their news, their sports, their business news, whatever it happens to be. But now, as businesses and the tech world has evolved, we need to go where the customers are. So where are customers? Well, yes, they're filling up the ACC or Scotiabank Center for ads, and you're going to get 30,000 eyeballs on your ad if you're along the boards or whatever it happens to be. But obviously, with the advent of the tablet, the cell phone, it just changed everything. When people go on their work breaks, they're on their phones. I tell people have an intimate relationship with their mobile device. Typically, it's the first thing they look at when they wake up, and the last thing that they look at before they go before they go to sleep, right? And then all throughout the day, going to the bathroom, and almost every waiting in line, being at the grocery store. So, when it comes to having a digital marketing presence for a small business, I think it's I totally agree with you. It's got to be one of those things where customers are looking, there's a huge opportunity to get eyeballs on your business. And I think we'll talk about it a bit later. But when we get to the visibility aspect of things, every business needs to be visible. And that's just the first step of that process of landing a new client and growing that business, essentially, right?
That is really fascinating, Rob. I mean, it's clear that digital marketing is not just about having a website anymore. It's about creating a comprehensive online strategy. How do you help businesses navigate this complex digital landscape and stand out from their competitors?
Oh, that's a tough one. To be honest, a lot of my first phone calls, people just finding us online, that is typically half an hour, sometimes even 2 hours.
Wow.
Because every business is different. Every industry is different. So as you can imagine, their strategy and our strategy for them would be completely different. And even within their industry, if we just take coffee, for example, we have, Tim Hortons and Starbucks delivering coffee and baked goods at a completely different experience to the customer.
Right.
So even within that industry, there's differences where, we would sit down with that business owner, sit down with that client and say, hey, where are you now? Where do you want to be? What do you aspire to be? What makes you different in your industry? And then coming up with a game plan completely surrounded around that, right? So how do we effectively communicate that message to their target audience, essentially, right? So it's not just about buy my coffee, buy my baked goods. It's this is how we do coffee here. This is how we do our baked goods here. If you're interested in what we have to offer, please come see us and that type of stuff, right?
This is such a great example. I me's clear that digital marketing is an indispensable tool for small businesses that are really looking to thrive in today's competitive market. Now, as we move forward, Rob, we'd love to explore how your unique approach, it helps businesses not just survive, but thrive in this digital age. Because in Canada, I think 53.6% of small businesses with less than 20 employees reported lower revenues in 2021 compared to 2019. And this statistic, it really underscores the need for effective marketing strategies to really boost that business growth. Rob, you've developed a strategy called VFCP, which is visibility plus frequency plus credibility is equals to profitability. Can you please explain this concept and how it helps businesses grow?
Yes, definitely. So I'm part of a business networking group called BNI, and this is something that they've articulated very well. VCP, visibility plus credibility is equal to profitability. The funny part is we've been doing that at Flowerpot years before I've even heard it so articulated so well. So I said, yes, this is a great concept that where we've kind of taken that concept, repackaged it. We added the F for the frequency for clients to say, for businesses to say, look, people can't hire you if they've never seen you before.
That's true.
If they've never heard of you, if I've never seen a phone number, I can't call it. If I've never seen a website, I can't go to it, essentially, right? So our goal is let's be visible in your marketplace, whatever that happens to look like. So, again, even though we don't do TV, radio, banners, we believe in that. We believe in marketing. We believe in being seen in the marketplace, right? So really honing in on who is the target customer, who is most likely to purchase your products or services.
Right.
We identify who that is. Then we identify where are those people, right? What are they doing? What kind of profiles do they have? Or we can call them those avatars, if you will, those customer profiles. What are their habits? Where do they spend their time? And then how can we maybe incorporate that into our marketing strategies? So the V is very important, being visible. Then we have the F, being frequent. So you can't just send out 1,000 flyers to 1,000 homes, get a small response or maybe no response, and then say, oh, marketing doesn't work. I'm going to pack my bags and stop marketing.
Right.
We don't believe in that. We believe in be visible. You know what? You're going to get a response rate. It might be low for the first time, but being frequent, being out there all the time, constantly. A big fan of a term that I'm a big fan of is just top of mind marketing, right? And a lot of the bigger companies, they do that really, really well. They'll sponsor sports teams, they'll sponsor events, they'll do community stuff, right? With no real revenue tied to that, but they're okay with that. It's just a matter of being seen in your community, being seen doing good kind of thing, right? So that's where the frequency and the visibility comes in. Then the credibility is after some of your marketing, initiatives. Some people will hire you, right? They'll say, that's a good deal. That's a good promotion. You know what? I'm in need of that product or service. I'm going to purchase it. I'm going to meet someone. And building that credibility of Google reviews, social media. We've seen that Trustpilot. We see how big of an impact that has on a business, of course. Yelp, to be quite honest, for either positive or negative, sometimes I'm not a fan of the Yelp reviews because you can serve 100 customers perfectly, but then you get that one customer where maybe you burnt their burger, maybe the service was a little slow, and then that customer might go on and just blast that business, and it's unfair to some degree, right? But building up that credibility, then after you've built up a credibility for a year, 2 years, 5 years, then we move into that profitability stage and we see it all the time. Big businesses like Netflix raising their prices a little bit to, because they now have that foundation. They now have that core, customer base to say, this is a product I like. I've been using it for years. I'm actually okay spending a little bit more money to get this service, right? Apple is great, is a prime example of that. People love their Apple products. So are they the cheapest on the block? No. Right. Yes. So often when I'm talking to small business owners and, I'm asking them maybe raise their price or, when we talk about product positioning and things like that, where they want to be in the marketplace, a lot of business owners are sometimes reluctant to raise their prices. But then I bring out that example where when the iPhones used to come out, people would line up around the block for the newest version, but they were the most expensive phone. Back then, they were the most expensive phone on the block. So how can you how can you explain that? Why are people lining up for the most expensive phone on the block? It's because they love the product that much, right? They have a relationship with that product, a relationship with that brand, and they feel that brand affinity. You've probably heard these terms before. Very, very, very common nowadays. But that's what I think small businesses should be aspiring to get to have their customers say, I love this product or this service so much. I'm actually okay that if they were to bump up the price a little bit, I'm happy to support them because of the value that I actually get back from that product or from that business, I should say.
Right.
Yeah.
This is such an interesting approach. I mean, it's clear that VFCP is more than just a formula. It's a comprehensive strategy. And thank you for breaking that down for business growth. But to back this up a little bit, Rob, could you share an example of how you've applied the VFCP strategy to help a client achieve significant results?
Definitely. This actually works out perfectly. A client just called me today. But basically, he owns a residential HVAC company here in the GTA. He was using another marketing agency, and he couldn't quite quantify the results that they were getting, what their marketing efforts, what their marketing dollars were going towards. So, he found us. He called us. The first thing that we did was to say, look, your website is not an accurate description of what you really do for homeowners, let's say, right? So that's going to be, we call the website is home-based, right? Because people might find you on YouTube ads, social media, TV, radio, bus ads, you name it, right? But most people are going to go back to the website and get that information, essentially, right? So to us, that property, that piece of marketing collateral is extremely important. 100% needs to be fast, efficient, mobile friendly, efficiently describe what your business does and how you add value to that homeowner. So for that particular client, we said, look, maybe rewriting this content, maybe doing a bit of an overhaul would be beneficial. Once that was in place, now we can use tools like social media. For this particular client, we decided to do Google Ads, right? Now we use that to get that visibility. So when people are searching, my furnace is broken, I need a furnace repairman in the dead of winter, that visibility on Google is going to be that homeowner's first, first impression of that business, to find them on Google, say, oh, furnace repairman in the GTA, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Click on that on Google, go to their website. Now they're getting that comprehensive information package of what that business does, how good they are, all the Google reviews, all the, client testimonials, all that kind of stuff. And I'm happy to say he actually called me this morning. He ran his numbers from 2023 versus 2024 when we started working together, and he is up $200,000 in revenue. I should say he said, Rob, I'm reluctant to attribute this to the Google ads, but he's like, I can't deny the numbers are there. We did, $200,000 more in revenue than we did the previous year. And all we really did with change was, marketing strategy, essentially. So, I hear that and it just fuels me and it makes me happy. But that is a very typical, let's say, process where, because every business is so unique, every process has to be like a tailored suit, right? So it's not just one suit fits everyone. It's, what are your needs? Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? Right? What's your budget? Obviously, budget is always a concern, right? So there are a lot of factors that go into a strategy that we come up with for a client. But we can definitely say that it works. But as I mentioned, it all starts with that visibility. The visibility, being found on Google has been the catalyst of what's getting that client more exposure into the marketplace, essentially. And it's something that we definitely believe in.
The strategy, it seems to offer such a structured approach to building lasting business relationships and again drive profitability at the same time. Next, Rob, we'll explore how networking plays a role in this process, because networking has proven to be one of the most effective ways to generate referrals and revenue growth. And in fact, 82% of business owners, they say that most of their business comes from referrals. And Rob, you've been a member of BNI for about 10 years now. How has this organization contributed to your business growth, and what advice would you give to small business owners about the importance of networking?
I would say it's very important. I mean, you mentioned that number, and if you think about any type of relationship businesses, the real estate agents, the real estate brokers, lawyers, accountants, that 100% relationship basis. So forming strong relationships with people, other business owners, businesses where you find synergy, it is paramount.
Right.
So I'll be our approach at Flowerpot is, we are a digital marketing agency. We have some pretty good online presence for ourselves. So that covers the digital side of things. Now I'm part of BNI, so I can do the offline stuff.
Right.
So I like to have both bases covered, essentially, right? The online stuff kind of takes care of itself.
Right.
And, I'm doing the let's say the boots on the ground work to, create relationships and create referrals. So anything like MBOT, BNI, Board of Trades, Rotary, all that kind of stuff, I believe in them because I believe in surrounding myself with, a strong team, right? Because no one can do it alone. It doesn't matter, business, sports, you name it. You just can't do it alone. You need good people around you who share your vision, right? And your goals are aligned. And I found that through BNI, I've definitely found that through an amazing network of other business owners who sometimes have experiences, challenges that I am now facing, that I can lean on for resources, that I can lean on for help, for knowledge or anything like that, or vice versa. Sometimes they're coming to me for help with their website or their marketing initiatives. So there's very much a give and take, just like any relationship, right? Where we're helping each other. We understand each other's struggles as, let's say, business owners or solopreneurs sometimes, right? So I would definitely say that the networking side, and just for any business, that's exactly what a Google review is, right? It's someone sending a referral, almost telling the world, I had a good experience with this company. I'm pretty much vouching for them at the end of the day, right? So that's the way that we kind of want to bridge those two worlds to say, hey, business owners, doing the online stuff is great. We believe in it, obviously, right? But really engaging with either other businesses or your customer base, throwing an event, throwing appreciation night, or having some type of even a promotional type of thing to say, hey, you know what, maybe not possible for e-commerce. That's not possible for everyone. But for example, our real estate agent client, she throws a family bowling night annually, where all her clients, she rents out an entire bowling alley, and she invites all her clients, just say, hey, come bowl. It's free. I just want to see you because, I haven't seen you in quite a while, kind of thing, right? So again, being top of mind. But, as much as I believe in the digital, there's nothing we can do, or any digital marketing company can do, that can replace a handshake or looking someone in the eye and saying, hi, nice to meet you. Right. I'm Rob, right? I'm Flowerpot. This is what we do. So I think those words have weight to them. I think, especially in a B2B business, when you're B2B, other businesses want to know who they're working with. There's a partnership there, right? As a vendor, as a supplier, no matter what it happens to be, there's definitely a partnership there. And I would argue that most business owners and managers, HR people, whoever it happens to be, they want to know who they're working with, who they're doing business with, right? So I think it would be a fool's errand to ignore the networking and the opportunities that arise from the people that and the people that you're meeting and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. I think there's huge opportunity in that.
Definitely. Everything that you said is so true. And I'm sure our listeners can also relate to it greatly. And it's clear that networking, especially through organizations like BNI, it can be a game changer for small businesses as well. We've uncovered some powerful insights on networking and its impact on business growth. So please stay tuned as we'll be right back to explore how Robert takes businesses to the next level.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in,
connect and recharge,
make an impression,
and meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Welcome back, everyone. We're excited to continue our conversation with Rob, diving into the crucial steps for elevating your business in the digital age. Now let's look at how all these elements, they come together to drive business growth, because as we've discussed, digital marketing, effective strategies like VFCP and networking, they're all very crucial for business growth. But how do they all come together to help a business reach new heights? Rob, based on your experience, what are the key steps a small business should take to move to the next level of success?
Good question. And this is what I'm sure a lot of your listeners and viewers would want to know. I would say delegating is a big part of that. So a big part of when I'm having conversations with prospects who call us and email us is, if they're a baker, I believe they should be baking or leading their baking team.
Right.
That's key. I firmly believe they should not be doing their own books. They should not be doing their own marketing. That stuff should be, delegated to those professionals to save them time, to save them money, believe it or not. Because I think it's proven that, getting those things off your plate and focusing on growing your business is the most important thing.
True.
So if you're a mechanic, you should be fixing cars or leading your mechanic team. So the online stuff, websites, social media, let's say Google stuff, podcasts, whatever it happens to be, that's something that can be offloaded to an agency, right? Of course, you're still going to meet people going to events, maybe trade shows. You kind of have to be there for that. But if you're not on your computer 2 hours a day trying to edit your website or do your social media, it frees up that time to go to a trade show, to go to a networking meeting and possibly meet people, right? So I would say one of the biggest things that business owners should be leveraging is their time and their capital. There's a great chart for that, right? So having capital is great, but we want to leverage that. We want to leverage time. By hiring employees, you're leveraging their time essentially, right? So other people doing the tasks for you. That's exactly what what we want to be for the business owner in terms of their marketing and their digital marketing. Our goal is don't log into anything.
Right.
Let us log into it. Right? Let us do the stuff that we can do, because here's the thing. We can't go to a trade show for you, right? We're talking about this just before taping, doing trade shows and stuff like that. We believe in them 100%, right? It's great exposure. It's great marketing. And you can forge really great relationships just from, attending and meeting other people. So, but if you are locked behind your computer, trying to figure out, my Facebook, my Instagram, this and that, you don't have the time now to go to do these other marketing activities. So I would say how it all comes together is I think a business owner should, number one, if they are having struggles with their time or maybe their budgeting or their finances, first thing is I would go see a business coach, right? I use one, I see one, I love it, it's fantastic. They will give you a clear picture of what's going on in your business. So I think that's step number one. Then step number two, working with that coach or, just getting that snapshot, you can decide where you need to either, okay, you know what, I'm going to offshore this. Hey, you know what, this is really important to me. I have to dedicate a certain allotted amount of time per day, per week, per month, whatever it happens to be. So whether that's meeting people, whether that's going to events. So trying to do the things that you can't really offshore to other people. So having a sales meeting with the team, right? Leading the team, doing those types of inspirational or motivational team building events and stuff like that. That's stuff that we don't really get into, right? And we don't want to get into, and we really can't. So it's almost like we look at business as a pie chart. We want to handle that digital marketing slice of that pie.
Right.
What other slices can that business owner really leverage? So is it finances? Is it a business coach? Is it, hey, I need to grow my team. So maybe I need to hire an HR, a third-party HR company to help me manage that kind of thing, right? So because there's so many things to manage, so I feel that there is an opportunity for business owners to take a step back, look at where they are, what the perfect world looks like, and then say, how can I bridge that gap, essentially? Right. What do I need to do to make that happen, essentially? And then contact the right people, bring in the right people to kind of make that happen, essentially, right? I think that's a great strategy for a blanket statement for the majority of business owners. Of course, it's not going to apply to everyone, but it's a great start, I think.
That's a wonderful approach, and those are some great insights, Rob. It's clear that success, it requires a multifaceted approach, combining digital strategies that we discussed, networking that we discussed, and of course continuous learning. Listeners, remember that in the world of business, integrity is paramount, and as Robert shared earlier, he once turned down a prospect who asked for fake Google reviews, and this decision not only showcased his integrity but also won him the client's respect in business. It's a powerful reminder that ethical practices are not just morally right, but can also be good for business in the long run. Now, let's kind of jump into the future of digital marketing, because the digital marketing landscape is constantly evolving in Canada. Small businesses, they contribute significantly to the economy, and with SMEs that are responsible for 48% of Canada's GDP, staying ahead of these digital trends is crucial for businesses to maintain their competitive edge. Rob, looking ahead, what emerging trends or technologies in digital marketing do you think will have the biggest impact on small businesses in the next few years?
I would say AI is still AI. It's on everyone's radar. It is by far changing the world. It already has. I'm sure there's big companies already leveraging that with business intelligence mixed with AI. Things are going to change very, very quickly and very rapidly.
Right.
And that's not to scare people. I think there's an opportunity, just like everything else, right? With the advent of AI comes huge opportunity. But there's still some things I think AI, can't replace in terms of, let's say some marketing practices and things like that. What makes people connect with a brand and stuff like that? Because you can feed a computer anything and get a result, but there's a human connection, right, to a lot of what we do, as business owners, what we do kind of thing, right? I would imagine a lot of business owners, they love their customers, right? It's not about I'm here to sell products and services to make money. It's I'm here to help people, right? Especially when you meet really innovative people, who come up with amazing products that are completely unique that the market hasn't seen before. They're there to serve a purpose, right? They're there to usually solve a problem for people, right? So I think that there is huge advantages in small businesses right now looking at AI, even if it's not them directly, but asking your marketing agency, are you guys using any AI practices, or to what extent are you guys leveraging AI to help me? Because a lot of what, business owners, hiring a marketing agency is you're leveraging, yes, their knowledge and their people, but all the tools that marketing agency uses, right? So think of all the SEO software out there, all the social media software out there, all the reporting, Canva, all the design software out there. Most agencies, like us, are using those pro services or the agency services. Mm-hmm. So we get all the high-end features, right? So there is a lot of there are a lot of advantages to hiring an agency. So that would be one of my first questions is, maybe in today's day and age is, are you leveraging AI? How does your agency leveraging AI? Is that something that you guys can help me with or whatever it happens to be? Mm-hmm. I don't think AI will coming sweepingly across the board for every industry, right. But just like internet and social media and websites has definitely taken things to the next level. Mm-hmm. It is a game changer, and it is something that is coming more and more part of our lives. So I think that it's here to stay. So, for business owners, small business owners, I think it's something to really take a look at to say, hey, just like it's a tool, just like everything else, right? So looking at a gardening tool, how can I use that tool to make a better garden? I think AI is a great example of, here's a tool, how can I leverage this tool to potentially help my business, mm-hmm. right? So is it putting in all the hours? Where can I cut back on hours? Where can I do sales, marketing? Where can I help with, I think AI would be great on something like predicting routes for traffic or for delivery companies, mm-hmm. right? If you feed it all this information about, I have these packages, need to go out to these addresses at these times, I would imagine an AI computer could figure out that route, which is the most efficient for this time of day, for, assuming there's no accidents, even taking accidents and traffic delays into account, what would be the best route for that? I think that's just a game changer for an industry such as logistics company or a trucking delivery company. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be a game changer.
Of course. I mean, those are some very exciting prospects, Rob. It's clear that small businesses, they need to stay agile and open to new technologies like AI to thrive in the digital age. Now, as we've come to the end of our conversation, again, first, thank you so much, Rob, for sharing your expertise with us today. Mm-hmm. Before we wrap up and close, is there any final piece of advice that you'd like to share with our listeners who are looking to boost their digital marketing efforts?
Oh, good question. I would say start with your website. And I would say, I'll tell you, this is a very quick exercise that we go through with all our clients. Identify who your target market is. Who is most likely to purchase your products and services? And because if you talk to a lot of business owners, I'm sure you do, right? A lot of people will say, well, everyone, right? Everyone's my client. Anyone can use my product or service. That might be true, mm-hmm. but who is more likely or most likely, right? And really hone in on that. So identify who your target market is. Once that's identified how you're going to resonate with them. So buzzwords and things that they want to hear. So if your target audience is younger people, maybe we're going to come in with a bit more of a younger look. So, your branding is going to look a certain way and stuff like that. And then the third and most important part is just tell people what they want to hear, mm-hmm. right? Tell them which problem you're going to solve for them. And get that up on your website, get that on your marketing materials efficiently and effectively. Because I'm sure, as we can see, with stories and, short videos, sometimes you have a really short amount of time to impress, or get someone's attention. So, these practices are becoming more and more important. The elevator pitch, we've heard that, right? I think it's becoming more and more important to hone in on exactly who I want to talk to. I know exactly how I'm going to speak to them, exactly what they're looking for, and I know exactly what problems they are encountering, and my product or service can really help them solve that problem.
Right.
That is a great first step. And then second step is go see a business coach.
Of course. Thank you so much, Rob, for sharing your wealth of experience and such practical insights. I'm pretty sure the approaches that you've shared today, they will inspire and empower our listeners today. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Today, we've explored digital marketing strategies with Robert of Flowerpot Marketing and covering his innovative VFCP approach, the power of networking and the methods for business growth. We've learned that success in today's market requires a multifaceted approach combining digital strategies, networking, integrity, and continuous learning. Please remember, small businesses are vital to Canada's economy, and by applying Robert's insights, you can position your business for success in the digital age. We'd like to thank our guests as well as to our sponsors, RBC, UPS, and IG, for their continued support. Their commitment to small businesses in Canada is truly commendable. For more valuable insights and resources for small business owners, please don't forget to visit CanadianSME.ca and subscribe to our podcast. Until next time, this is Maheen signing off. Keep innovating, keep growing, and remember, in the world of business, your digital presence is your new storefront. Make it count.